Thank you so very much, Kayla, for having me. Remember that January this year, you and I had a show. I think it was a special report that you interviewed me on. And I told you that from 2024, when the president presented the budget of hope, that I doubt if the hope is what we expect. The year would be a difficult year. With the benefit of hindsight, you can ask everyone if 2024 was indeed a difficult year. Government projected 21.4% or 6%, 21.4, 21.6% inflation rate. I mentioned to you that inflation will likely remain around 30% corridor. Today, inflation is 34.6% year on year. I also mentioned to you that our debt to GDP, and it's important you can look for that video and put it up there, that our debt to GDP, our debt profile, we crossed 100 trillion naira by the end of the year. Today, our debt profile has crossed 100 trillion naira. The question is, 2025 budget, our government has called it a beautiful name. But when I look at the budget, just like I looked at 2024 budget, the single largest item in 2024 budget is also the single largest item in 2025 budget. What is this single largest item? Debt servicing. Now, what kind of hope can we have that will make us become the like of China, the like of India, and the like of some other countries that were called Asian tigers? Before they saw the economic miracle, the largest proportion of their budget, up to 30 to 40%, was going into things to encourage manufacturing, things to encourage factory production. That is what we need to see. In this 2025 budget, how many factories will be built? How many factories will be supported? What will be the quality of power supply? Minister of Power had mentioned that we're going to have 6,000 megawatt generation power generation. How many were eventually available with this budget? And please, when I say this budget, I don't mean the only one President Tinubu submitted. I also want to add the budget submitted by the 36 states governors to it in their respective state. Have signed that power is no longer under exclusive list, it's now under recurrent list. What will be the impact? The truth is that if you don't have power steady for manufacturing, for production, at best, we will be at the realm of hope, will not be at the realm of faith. Faith, economic faith, believing. And when we say faith, I'm not being religious. Faith is one of the reasons why your currency is high or strong. It's the confidence people have in it. So before we get to that point where we can say that our hope is translating to work and we are seeing economic improvement in our lives, we must agree on something. What is the pattern of our spending? Check out the 36 state governors. What proportion of their income is going into infrastructure? 30%, 15%, 20%. Very few has gone beyond 35% and above. And check the 2025 budget. Government is looking at 15% inflation rate. I doubt it very much. If I tell you what the econometrics number is saying, based on the current policy environment, please underline it. If the policy environment changes, it may improve. Like I told you in 2024 January, that we will remain in 30, in fact, it was not yet 30% as of then, it was 29.9. But I said we will sustain 30%. If this policy environment is still sustained, we will still most likely be around 30% corridor. So we might not see the 15% that we wish to see because it's a mere projection. I doubt if that projection is subjected to econometrics number to project what the future will look like, what the impact will look like. I doubt very much. I've seen that if we say that the budget, you ask a question, how realistic would I think the budget is? Yes, some items on the budget are realistic, but there are some items in the budget that I have a lot of doubt whether they'll be realistic or not.